Agnes was a strong and beautiful woman who raised her only son Leo, all by herself. She became a widow when Leo was just a little boy. Her husband, Mr. Williams, passed away early, but he left behind great wealth, a big mansion, and enough money for both of them to live comfortably for the rest of their lives. Agnes poured all her love and attention into her son. Because of that, Leo and his mother became very close. They were always together, talking, laughing, and sharing jokes like best friends. Anyone who knew them would say, "You can never see Agnes without Leo." Their bond was so tight that Agnes didn't want anything or anyone to come between them. Life was easy for them. They didn't worry about money, they had cars, servants, and anything they needed, thanks to what Agnes's late husband left behind. Agnes made sure Leo lacked nothing. One sunny afternoon, Agnes called Leo to sit with her in the living room. She had something serious to discuss. "Leo," she said calmly, "you're no longer a child. It's time you start thinking about marriage." Leo smiled. "Of course, Mum. I've been thinking about it too. But listen," Agnes continued, her tone now firm. "I want you to marry a girl from a rich family. Someone who understands wealth, someone raised in it, not just any girl from nowhere. I don't want a poor girl to come here and destroy everything your father worked for." Leo looked surprised. He sat up straight and replied, "Mum, I don't agree with that. I want to marry for love, not for money. A marriage built on love will last longer than one based on wealth." Agnes raised her voice. "Leo, shut up. Stop talking nonsense. If I had married your father just for love, would you be enjoying all this luxury now?" Leo looked straight at his mother and asked calmly, "Mum, were your parents rich before Daddy married you? Were you born into wealth?" Agnes said nothing. She was silent for a moment. Leo continued, "I know the truth. You were from a poor background. Daddy helped your family, he lifted them up. So why do you want something different for me?" Agnes stood up, angry. "Leo, I am warning you. Don't bring just any girl into this house. If you try me, you won't like what I'll do. That's my final word." Leo looked at his mother sadly. He didn't want to argue anymore. He loved her deeply, but he also wanted to live his own life and follow his heart. As Leo walked out of the room, one thing was clear. A storm was coming. Days passed after the heated argument between Leo and his mother. Though the air in the mansion seemed calm, deep inside Leo's heart, he was not at peace. He loved his mother dearly, but he was also sure of one thing: he was going to marry for love. After much thinking, Leo made up his mind. He was ready to introduce the woman he wanted to marry to his mother. Her name was Fina. Fina was a beautiful, humble, and respectful young lady. She didn't come from a rich background, but she carried herself with grace and decency. She loved Leo with all her heart and supported him in every way. Leo had told her everything about his mother, how strong, proud, and difficult she could be. But Fina still agreed to go with him and greet her. One bright morning, Leo brought Fina to the mansion. "Mum," Leo said with a smile, "meet Fina, the woman I want to marry." Agnes turned and looked at Fina from head to toe. At first, she said nothing. Then, with a mocking smile, she asked, "Where are you from, young lady?" Fina smiled politely and answered, "I'm from Ogboko village, Ma. I was raised by my mother after we lost my dad when I was little." Agnes's face changed instantly. "Ogboko village?" she said with a frown. "So you're poor?" Fina quietly nodded. "We're not wealthy, Ma, but we live in peace." That was all Agnes needed to hear. Suddenly, she stood up, her voice rising with anger. "Get out of my house right now. Out! How dare you walk into my home with your poverty?" "Mum!" Leo shouted, shocked. But Agnes didn't stop. She picked up a small pistol from the drawer nearby and pointed it at the door. "If you don't leave my house right now, I swear I'll shoot you in the leg. I said get out." Fina, frightened and embarrassed, grabbed her handbag and ran out of the mansion, tears rolling down her face. Leo turned to his mother, boiling with anger. "Mum, you've done your worst. You chased away the woman I love. You humiliated my fiancé like a criminal. Mum, this is too much. I won't forgive you for this." Agnes hissed and pointed her finger at her son. "You haven't seen anything yet. I warned you, didn't I? I told you not to bring any poor girl into this house. But no, you wouldn't listen." Leo was breathing heavily, trying to hold back his tears and anger. Agnes continued, "The next time you bring any poor girl here again, I won't chase her out. I'll pour acid on her." "Foolish boy. Everything I'm doing is for your own good, but you are too blind to see it." Leo was speechless. He looked at the woman who raised him with so much love, and now she had become someone he couldn't recognize. He walked out of the house slowly, heartbroken and confused. Outside, he saw Fina sitting by the gate, crying. Leo sat beside her and wiped her tears. "I'm sorry, Fina," he said gently. "I had no idea she would go this far. But I promise you, I'll fight for us. I will not let anyone, not even my own mother, destroy what we have." Fina nodded, still sobbing. "I love you, Leo." "I love you too," he replied, "and I'm ready to stand by you, no matter what." As they held hands, a new chapter was about to begin, one filled with love, resistance, and the fight to choose their own happiness. Months passed after the heartbreaking incident with Fina. Leo tried to move on, but the pain stayed with him. Even though his love was true, his own mother had destroyed it. But Leo was still determined. He believed that one day he would find a way to be happy. Then came Joy, a kind, gentle woman with a bright smile. Just like Fina, Joy came from a humble background, but she had a heart full of love. Leo met her at a charity event and was drawn to her kind spirit. After a few months of dating, Leo decided to try again. He hoped that maybe this time, his mother would see beyond money and accept someone for who they were. One evening, Leo brought Joy to the mansion to introduce her to Agnes. "Mom," he said, "this is Joy, the woman I want to marry." Agnes didn't waste time. The moment she heard that Joy was from a poor family, her face turned dark. "What is wrong with you, Leo? Is poverty chasing you? Didn't I warn you?" Before Joy could even greet her properly, Agnes shouted, "Get out of my house right now. Don't ever come here again with your poverty. Leave before I call security." Joy was confused and scared. She looked at Leo, then turned and walked out quietly, wiping her tears. Leo was crushed. Again, the woman he loved was humiliated. But this time, something inside him snapped. He stormed into his room and sat in deep anger. His heart was heavy, and his mind began to wander. "Is this how it will always be?" he thought. "Will I never be allowed to love who I want?" That night, Leo made a dangerous decision. His anger pushed him into dark thoughts. He came up with a terrible plan. Leo approached his mother's cook, May, a young woman who had secretly admired Leo for a long time. He offered her money and promised, "If you help me kill my mother, I'll marry you." The moment May heard the words, "I'll marry you," her heart skipped. She had always dreamed of being with Leo. So without thinking twice, she agreed to the evil plan. But what Leo and May didn't know was that Agnes had overheard everything. She had walked past the kitchen and caught the entire conversation. The next morning, Agnes stood in front of them, her face cold and unreadable. "So, you both plan to kill me?" she said slowly. "Well done." Leo froze. May's legs shook with fear. Without another word, Agnes picked up her phone and called the police. Within minutes, the police arrived and arrested both Leo and May. After the investigation and court hearing, they were sentenced to 10 years in prison for attempted murder. Agnes stood at the courtroom door and shook her head. "Maybe when he comes out, he will understand that I don't joke with poverty," she said to herself. Moral lessons. 1. Love is more valuable than money. Wealth fades, but true love stays forever. 2. Pride and class discrimination can destroy families. We should judge people by their hearts, not their bank accounts. 3. Anger can lead to destruction. Never make decisions when you're angry. You may regret them for life. 4. Crime never pays. No matter how painful life feels, violence is never the answer. 5. Parents must learn to listen. Forcing your children to follow your own dreams can ruin theirs. Thank you message. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this story. If you've enjoyed it and learned something from it, please don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. There are so many more amazing stories coming your way, so stay connected and don't miss any updates. Remember, every story has a lesson. Every lesson has a power. See you in the next one.